What's going on, Alabama fans? Chris Daughtery back with you guys here on the Alabama Football Report by Chat Sports. And coming up on today's show, we are talking two big-time injury updates for you guys, some offensive line transfer portal targets, and also recruiting buzz from that 2027 recruiting class. Before we get to anything else, let's start off with that injury news here. During yesterday's press conference, Kalen DeBoer talked about both Danny Lewis Jr. and Josh Cuevas. He said both of those guys were going to be available for this game against Oklahoma on Friday. This is what Kalen DeBoer said about the two Alabama tight ends. He said both of them will be available. Again, the progress continues to happen. Danny Lewis Jr.'s injury is going to continue to be ongoing like it has. We are just utilizing him in, certain packages, and because he's not necessarily an everyday type of guy or every play type of guy, as far as just the limitations that he has right now, he'll be ready to go, but he's a big body in there, and we can utilize him in ways, he knows the offense really well also. So that's big-time update there on both Danny Lewis Jr. and Josh Cuevas. Both of those guys have been banged up here over the past couple of weeks. And if you guys are glad that Josh Cuevas and Danny Lewis Jr. are both going to be available for the first round of the college football playoffs versus Oklahoma on Friday, make sure you get down there and drop a like on today's show. All right, let's get into the transfer portal rumors here. This is stuff I really like this time of year. Former 2025 four-star LSU offensive lineman Carius Curne is officially entering the transfer portal per Matt Zenitz. This is a big-time target, I think, and it should be a big-time target. He was a four-star guy coming out of high school, top 100, number one player out of the state of Arkansas, and also the number 3 interior offensive lineman. I bring him up because Alabama probably going to need some help on the interior of the offensive line. Now, whether or not that's where he ends up playing, I don't know. He played more, left tackle more than anything, and right tackle for LSU this past year. But, 305 snaps that he played this year as a freshman, LSU had a lot of, guys along the offensive line that were really banged up all year. So he's a guy that, would be able to come in. He would have some, playing time under his belt. Like I said, he bounced kind of back and forth from that right tackle spot at the beginning of the year to the left tackle spot, midway through the year. But he was an interior offensive lineman in high school. He's listed on LSU's website, by the way, at 6'5", 320 pounds. So I know Alabama's recruited a really nice offensive line class. They're kind of going smaller along the offensive line. So I don't necessarily know if he, fits that type of mold that they want along the offensive line right now. But hey, it's a big time name to know right now inside the transfer portal. So we'll see if Alabama pursues him. So let me know what you guys think down at the pinned comment of today's show. Should Alabama pursue Carius Curne in the transfer portal? Let me know what you guys think. Type Y for yes or N for no. All right, right now, we talked about the offensive line for Alabama a second ago, but, you're going to be losing some guys after the season is over. You're going to be losing Caden Proctor to the NFL draft. Now, you do have Jackson Lloyd right behind him. He's, shown some pretty good stuff when he's been able to get in there, but is he ready yet? I don't really know. Cam Dewberry, probably, he's out of eligibility after the season. Same with Geno Vandermark and Jaden Roberts. I still, don't know what's going to happen with Parker Brailsford. Maybe he ends up going off to the NFL draft. We're just going to have to see on that front. Maybe Alabama can retain Parker Brailsford with, some of those NIL dollars there. But, Wilkin-Formby, I think he's been playing well at that right guard spot. And then you got the true freshman Michael Carroll, who's been playing really, really well also. But like I said, Alabama, they're kind of trying to recruit a different type of offensive lineman right now. So we'll see if Curne ends up, being kind of that type of guy. But as of right now, according to On3's Pete Nakos, Alabama, not a team to monitor. Arkansas Razorbacks, obviously the number one player coming out of Arkansas from that 2021 class. You got Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Georgia, and Kentucky. So we'll see if Alabama jumps into the mix. All right, we'll continue with some 2027 five-star recruiting rumors here in just a second. But if you guys need some college football playoff gear, you can get it right now just by going to chatsports.com/CFP hat. We got a new Alabama college football playoff hat. You guys can rock it during the game. If Alabama ends up winning this game versus Oklahoma, you can rock it throughout the entirety of the playoffs, and you'll have a nice, memento here from this year's college football playoff. So if you guys need that Alabama college football playoff hat, you can get it at the link right here, chatsports.com/CFP hat. I'll also make sure to get that link down inside the comment section and the description of today's show. All right, now to some recruiting rumors here. 5-star 2027 recruit Honor Johnson. I'm not even going to try to say the other part of his name there just because I don't want to butcher it. Anyways, he has narrowed down now his final top 10 schools. And I know you're probably saying, why do we really care if it's a top 10? Well, Alabama is kind of up there when it comes to the top 10. In no particular order, I listed all 10 of these schools out. You have USC. It's from California, by the way, so obviously there. Miami, Penn State, Oregon, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Texas, Texas A&M, Ohio State, and Alabama. All top programs in college football right now because he is one of the top recruits in that 2027 recruiting class. Number 16 player overall, number 1 safety here in the class, and also the number 1 player out of the state of California. He stands at 6 foot, 170 pounds, out of San Diego. He plays just about everything. Safety, running back, corner. He's breaking tackles. He's making tackles. He's picking the ball off and taking it to the house for 6. His tape is extremely fun to watch if you guys have not had a chance to watch it yet. He is an elite athlete. There's a few plays on there where he's on the offensive side of the ball. He finds a gap in the defense and he just breaks away. The speed that he has makes it look like the video is sped up. It's on 2 times the speed, and it's actually not. This kid is absolutely insane, and we will definitely be following his recruitment here. He rushed for over 1,200 yards and 21 touchdowns this year. Also caught 35 passes for over 500 yards and 7 more touchdowns. So, a total of about 1,700 yards and 28 touchdowns this year. By the way, that's only on offense. He's also playing defense as well. Had a couple pick sixes himself this year as well. Rivals, by the way, saying he's pretty much talking to the Alabama coaching staff and Kalen DeBoer every single day. And, same thing there. Alabama finding their way up the list right now for Favor Johnson. And he was asked about his thoughts about Alabama and, just overall the recruitment right now. He said they've been recruiting me, hard. But, Bama, I talk to Coach DeBoer almost every single day. We have a good relationship going on with the coaches, Coach Sanders, all the DB coaches. So Bama is always a school that I've been looking at. Since Nick Saban isn't there anymore, it, definitely flips a few things around, but if I were to go in, I feel like I could be a game changer and bring Alabama back to what it used to be. Now, we know we've kind of had a little bit of a slump the last couple of years with, production out of the receivers. I don't know if Favor Johnson is going to play receiver or if he would end up playing safety, but, we're definitely going to end up monitoring his recruitment over the, next year or so because, I'm sure he's going to come in and I'm sure he will have a, official visit here this summer, and we'll see if Alabama can lock him down this summer. Make sure you guys are subscribed right here to the Alabama Football Report. We're going to be live, by the way, for the college football playoffs, and we are also trying to get to our next goal here on the channel, 35,500 subscribers. Right now, we're sitting at 35,112, whatever. You can do the math there. We need your help to get there. So make sure you do not miss out on any Alabama football news. We've got it as it breaks right here on the channel. All right, more recruiting rumors here. Rivals Adam Gorney is also reporting that Alabama is in the mix for 4-star tight end Rahzario Edwards. This is another guy who Alabama really does have a type when it comes to tight ends. He's 6'6", 210 pounds. Kid is an absolute athlete out of Sacramento, California. Right now, some of the top teams, Alabama, Oregon, Ole Miss, and USC. I would assume, he's probably going to be more of that pass-catching type of tight end for this Alabama system instead of that, more inline type of tight end that does a lot of blocking. I kind of have a feeling Alabama, under Kalen DeBoer, they're going to recruit these, athletic tight ends, and then they're going to get some of those blocking type of tight ends in the transfer portal. That's just kind of seems to be the way it's gone the past, year and a half or so. We'll see if that trend kind of continues there, but Another top 100 recruit here, number 4 tight end in that 2027 recruiting class. He was also asked about the Crimson Tide by by Rivals, kind of the same company at this point now. So they've been recruiting me heavily. They hit me up every single day, checking up on me and seeing how I'm doing. I've been watching Bama. Everybody watches Bama, but I've been watching them, the whole season, and they took a rough L against Georgia. That's kind of an unnecessary stray there, but either way, they've been really solid, he says, especially how they use their tight ends. You look at Josh Cuevas, you look at some of these other guys here on this, Alabama tight end room. He said especially how they use their tight ends. One of the tight ends that they have, Caleb Edwards, I actually played against him, so I know he's getting some playing time. To see that, I definitely have an eye on Bama, and we will definitely have an eye on Rahzario Edwards as he kind of gets into his recruitment here over the next year or so. We'll see if he lands with Alabama.